Okay, so this week on Founders 15, we have Tomi from Tech1M. So, Tomi, I'm going to hand over to you to introduce yourself and Tech1M.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. I'm glad to be on the podcast today. So my name is Tomi Edwards, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Tech1M. What we do at Tech1M is we're an AI-powered recruitment, automation, and skill assessment platform, helping the mid-markets to be able to hire talent faster and make sure that those talents can stay with the company longer, allowing them to be able to retain those talents and ensuring that they can hire effectively from anywhere in the world.
We are seeing this a lot, the need for this. Every time we work with startups, but also a lot of our larger client base as well that are having to hire globally and then really struggling with that. So, from your perspective, as you've done your sort of market research, what are the specific problems that you're able to help?
So that's interesting. So hiring is a very funny one, and it's something that has no sector base. It has no, it's industry agnostic because for a
Yeah.
company, whatever, however small or large, for you to be able to succeed, you need to put together a team. But how do you do that effectively? So what we've been realizing, and I'm sure a lot of people can pretty much resonate with this, is the fact that right now there are quite a number of companies trying to solve the problem of hiring. But then the way we're still doing it is fragmented because you're still using an average of 7 to 10 different applications. You start the journey from posting a job on like LinkedIn, Indeed, then you go into trying to screen them, doing a video interview, then you go into sending them to places like, Test Gorilla or other places for you to understand their quality. And then you still use another tool to, as an ATS, then use another tool to get them to actually then sign the contracts. We think that that's very cumbersome. And that is the problem that we have seen and we're trying to then solve. But then there are tools out there, like the enterprise tools that have tried to solve that, but they've solved that mainly for the enterprise clients. But what happens to the mid-market? And this is where Tech1M is simplifying talent acquisition for the mid-market, creating a simple, comprehensive platform that allows you to be able to come in and hire the way you want to hire. We know about the bells and whistles in enterprise platforms, but we only want the bells in the mid-market and not the whistles. So, so that is exactly what Tech1M is doing. It's intuitive, it's simple to use. It brings in not only a way in which you could do multiple job posting just by, you just post on our platform, we send it to multiple places. We bring in talent communities. Those are communities you don't have access to, but we find them for you and place your jobs on there so you can attract candidates faster. And then when it comes to evaluating those candidates, we then use our AI algorithm to simplify how you can determine and benchmark one candidate from another. To instead of you integrating a new system for skill assessment, we've created a very vast library of tests. So you could actually have your candidates taking the test directly on Tech1M. You could have that as video, you could have that as audio, you could have that as whatever you want. And then you could create your own custom assessment as well. So you could bring your department into Tech1M and allow them to be able to hire the way they want to hire. In the future, we'll be bringing in the likes of recruiters. So for those very difficult roles, you could also then find recruiters on Tech1M that can help you find those candidates faster. So in its entirety, Tech1M is just a place for we're simplifying talent acquisition, making the entire fragmented process a whole lot shorter, allow you to hire more effectively, and allow you to determine what the definition of a quality candidate for your organization is.
Love that. And so, are there any restrictions to job roles within Tech1 at the moment? As you said, you're not working with recruiters at the moment. Any of those, as you put it, meat market businesses coming to Tech1M, are they able to sort of advertise for any job role?
Yes, so it is industry agnostic. So basically, whatever industry you want to be able to put in, you can do that. It's country agnostic as well. At the moment, we're just still in English language, but if you understand that Tech1M is sort of a data platform, it's not so much about what we are giving to you, it's more of what you're receiving from the candidates. Our AI co-pilot is mainly in English at the moment, but we are then looking to localize that and start to have languages like French, Arabic, and Spanish are pretty much on our roadmap for us to be able to put that in. But anyone can actually, any business can actually come in to use Tech1M. We've seen particularly people within the healthcare industry using Tech1M a lot. We've been able to see people in the professional services, financial services using Tech1M, construction, name it. It's just basically, whatever sort of company can use it. But for us, our own marketing efforts are going mainly towards professional services in the tech space, as well as the healthcare space.
Okay, great. And so with those industries, the customers that you've got at the moment, sort of looking at product market fit, what have you been learning from those customers about their kind of pain points that you're able to help out?
Yeah, interesting. So in the beginning, like I said, when we created this, we weren't sure what industry to target. So it was just like open for all.
Yeah.
But then as we started to see the use, we saw that okay, there's a big need when it comes to, in the healthcare space and when it comes to the tech space as well. But also we started to see the number of days and weeks it takes them to hire start to shrink on, and they telling us additional features they want within the platform. For instance, we were making our platform very video centric. We realized that, okay, for fair evaluation, sometimes you don't want to see what the person looks like, but you might want the audio. So we decided to create something like that. They wanted to bring in their team members into the platform to have a collaborative way of hiring and allowing their team members to be able to evaluate candidates as well. And then that brought in what we call the CAS score, where your own team also evaluates the custom questions that you've put in there. We saw customers ask us for, oh, it needs to flag a particular type of question as sensitive. So let's say things like, what do you want to earn? And stuff like that. But if I'm bringing other people from my team into the hiring process, I don't particularly want them to know what he wants or what she wants. That breaches the whole point of HR. So we integrate and created a way in which we could flag some questions as sensitive. So depending on the type of permissions you have, there are things that you can't see. So all of a sudden, Tech1M has gone from just trying to simplify talent acquisition into making the evaluation a whole lot fairer, reducing bias in the hiring, and we keep moving forward from that.
And so can they bespoke it? Can they alter how much they want AI to do versus how much they want sort of a personal connection to it as they get closer to the actual hire? Are there ways to flex it?
Yes. So we have what we call, so we named that AI Amy, and don't ask me where the name came from. However, what you could do with Amy is interesting. And like I said, depending on what you want to do with AI is completely up to you. So we've taken data from the candidates when they're coming in. So things like their resume, things like whatever video, intro that they want to give, we transcribe that, we'll put that into the AI. And we also allow candidates to be able to run mock tests and be able to have projects that they've done. All of that gets fed into the AI. Now you as an hiring manager, you now have this in your hands and you can basically just ask a question and say, is Tomi a great facilitator? And Amy just basically tells you, oh, 2 years ago, she was at UBS, she did this, that. This is based on consented data that Tomi has provided as a candidate onto Tech1M, and now is now placed in the hands of the hiring manager, and you can now make decisions. But then Amy is there for you to use, but you could choose not to use Amy. And you could decide to be able to say, okay, I just want to look at this and view each candidate, because apart from Amy, we still have an algorithm. The algorithm has obviously given you a score. So you still have a score and you can see why this person has scored this way, because one, they met all the skills that you said you wanted, or they met some of it, and this is why they're actually getting the score. So what we've done is that we've created a multiple way for you to evaluate a candidate. First is matching them to the skills, the culture, and the preference that you have created in your job description, which could also be written by Amy, by the way, and you can edit. But then it's also then taking it to the next level. Based on the data we already know from this person, can I ask the question I will have been looking for in the CV? can I now use an assistant to help me do that? And this is where the AI comes in, helps you do that. Okay, now I want to send them for an assessment. Can I bring in my team to help me make this decision? Now you could do that. You could bring in your team, you could create your own questions, you could pick questions from our bank, and you could come back and reuse the questions that you've created on other candidates. So it basically allows you to go end to end with an ATS as well that allows you to move candidates from the pipeline from one area all the way to offer. And you can even then give them the offer right there on Tech1M.
And so there's so many things. It's variable. People can make it work for them. Like you said, you're bringing a lot of amazing services that are out there into one place to make things much easier for the businesses that you're working with. So anybody else that's trying to do this, competition that's out there, tell us, what are your real unique selling points for Tech1M?
Yeah, so we have quite a few. One is the fact that unlike many of our competitors who just try to integrate existing tools, we've actually built it.
Yeah.
So in sense of you don't need to integrate a skill assessment platform, it's already there on Tech1M. You don't need to integrate an ATS, it already comes with Tech1M. You don't need to integrate a video screening, it already comes with Tech1M. So that's unique in itself. And then instead of everyone just going on to OpenAI and just using job descriptions and making the AI give you the decision directly, we have built an LLM on top of that is taking data directly that is unique to your candidates. And this is where we've taken an effort in making all of those sort of changes. So our AI is in-house trained and is constantly training and understanding the candidates, and it will only allow you to get better results. We also have a talent CRM that when you're able to save a candidate onto your talent CRM, in the future, if you have a new role, it just basically pops up those candidates that they think that within your CRM that can actually do that role, giving them a score. Now you can invite them to take this. And in addition to that, our effort in bringing on talent communities allows us to also be unique. So we have quite a few things that makes us stand out. One is the fact that we're building mainly for the mid-market, but also we have features packed, but yet comprehensive and yet simple and fair for whatever size of business.
Amazing. So let's talk at some of those kind of smaller businesses, maybe those that are just starting out. We have a lot of startups that watch this podcast. And so what advice would you give to those startups that maybe perhaps you wish you knew when you started out? For the listeners or watchers, this is not Tomi's first startup. This is not her first business. Anything that advice that you would give a startup just starting out?
Okay, so I know startup is very, very hard. And I think the biggest advice I would give to myself when I was starting will probably be just keep making progress. And when I say making progress, it means that for everything that you're doing, make sure you're listening to your customer a whole lot, talking to your customers on a weekly basis if you can afford it, but don't make it more than twice in a month, because you're not building your product for yourself, you're building it for the end user. And then as much as you think you know so much about this pain, trust me, the end user knows a whole lot better than you do. And so that is one major thing. Otherwise, you just constantly just been an endless cycle of developing something that will not be used at the end of the day. Then the final thing is monitor, monitor, monitor. Make sure that whatever feature you're building, you have a way in which you can monitor it. Otherwise, it's not worth building the future in itself. Because at the end of the day, features are created for people to be able to use them. We could build 20 features into a system, and if only 2 of them are being used, those are the main 2 things that you need to focus on. So those are kind of like quick things I would say for anyone doing something.
Amazing. So carve out that time with customers, listen to them, and then monitor what's going through that product and through that service.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's when you could get, real good data that allows you to make decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. So with people who've been listening who think this is something that they need, that they want to, they want to work with you, or perhaps they want to invest, just tell us, how do we find you? How do people get in contact?
Okay, so you could find us on tech1m.com. That is the website. And you could find me personally on LinkedIn. I'm Tomi Edwards, the way my name is spelled. Easy to find. I'm on all platforms. LinkedIn is the favorite one. And please come in, ask us for a demo, let's talk to you, let's show you how we could help you. And we are very transparent if we can't help you, but I'm sure we'll be able to do something with you. So please reach out. I'm looking forward to following and making new connections.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tomi.